So what's your story? What got you here?
What got me here? Well, that's a big question. I guess, well, how far back do you want me to go? I was born in 1982 in Sydney, Australia. And grew up there in Sydney for a few years, moved to Canberra, the capital of Australia, which not many people know is the capital. But moved there when I was 4 years old. Canberra is quite a quiet place in many ways. In fact, most Australians say it's a pretty boring city. But actually it's a great place to grow up because it's quite safe. It's easy to get around. And like from the age of 8, I was pretty much able to just ride my bike everywhere. We've got bike paths everywhere. You have to cross a few roads, but it's, as long as you're sensible, you're pretty safe. So that growing up, it's like growing up in a big country town where you have that freedom, but with the city facilities. So I really like that. It gets a bit boring once you hit adulthood, to be honest, but it works for most people who live there and grow up and understand. Really enjoyed that freedom from being a kid. It's better than having a car where you can ride about on your push bike and go everywhere through the bush, try and avoid some snakes and, ride up and down hills and just go play video games with your mates. It's hard to complain. So life took me from there. I grew up in Canberra. I was there till I I finished school there. I did university there. I studied a Bachelor of Communications in Public Relations and a Bachelor of Laws, but I never really wanted to be a lawyer or an attorney. So I, at the end of that, time at school, I was sick of studying. Basically, I went straight from, preschool to primary school, elementary school, as they call it in the US. I don't know what they call it in Canada. And then through high school and college and university and, what was it like, between 5 and 23, I was studying. So all I knew at the end of that is I do not want to study anymore. So I moved over to London. And basically that is because I had the travel bug. When I was at university, obviously the seasons are the opposite way around in the southern hemisphere. What are they are in the north? One, Australian summer holidays, which is obviously when we get the longer university college break. I went to West Virginia and worked at a ski field for a few months and worked in the call centre there and tried to learn to ski and was pretty hopeless at it. The next year I went to Key Largo in the Florida Keys and worked at a place called Ocean Reef Club where basically people had more dollars than cents. George Bush Sr. Had a holiday house there and my job was to do room service and drive around on the golf cart and deliver food to people. So the first year in West Virginia, I made quite a lot of money because there was nothing to do. There was nothing to spend your money on when you're on the mountain and you're stuck there. It was quite tough mentally, but, and the second year I had absolutely no money, but I had a great time and met a lot of cool people. So anyway, I had the travel bug. So that's why I think after university, I moved to London.
And then what happened after London? What took you from London to Dubai? How did you go through that transformation?
So it's a bit ironic and a bit funny, but I when I moved to London, I had no idea what I wanted to do. And one of the law firms there asked me to join their business development team. And so I did. And then I was doing that for a little while. And then after that, met this nice young lady. Ironically, it's quite a funny story. I'd just been traveling for a few months. I'd been in Greece doing some volunteer work with sea turtles, which is another story. But I'd just come back, and one of my best friends from Australia was in London, and he was actually having like a farewell. And he was seeing this girl that I had never met before, so I introduced her, and she brought along one of her best friends. That turned out to be my now wife, which is quite funny. So, and those two actually broke up that night, and Monica and I met. So it was quite fun from that time. What's also quite ironic, so she's an Australian. So we went to the other side of the world to meet each other. And we also met in a well-known Australian chain of bars. Actually, they don't exist anymore in London, called the Walkabout. So met another Aussie on the other side of the world in an Aussie bar. It was quite funny. So my time in London extended from my original plan of 12, 18 months into 7 years because she wanted to stay and we were enjoying it. And then her job took us to Singapore for 18 months or so, and then she got transferred to Dubai in 2014. That is the way we ended up in the UAE.